How is everybody doing tonight, folks? Let's get everything lined up perfectly. Very nice, very nice. How is everybody? Tonight is another live stream here on Escaping the Suburbs. Throw some light on the subject, why don't we? That'll look nice. Let's go through some of your comments like we did last week. That was a lot of fun when we did the live stream last week. So let's do that again and read through some of your beautiful comments that you've been sending us here. So let's take a look at some of these videos we've put out and some of the comments. And let's start off here with Brenda Fulmer-Nickel. Says, God must have loved the color green. He certainly made a lot of it. That is certainly 100% true. Let's just jump in here and want to see if anybody says anything. And if you guys leave a comment or something, I can do something cool, like put it up on the screen like you see down there at the bottom. So leave me a comment. Let me know if you're watching. And let's see. Stacy Mitchell says the color green is very healing and calming. It promotes a sense of well-being and peace. That is so true. This was all in response to this short, which was called Why Does Green Make Us Feel So Calm, which was part of a larger video. We had a really good time out at, what was it called? Ortona Indian Mound Park, and made a nice video about that trip. And it resulted in a few very nice shorts. Tan Effendi said, it's not the color, it's the nature itself. And I can't really argue with that. That is true. Oh, look who's here. Our friend John is live with us. Hello, John. John, you may get the award for the most comments left on this beautiful channel. Long-time supporter here, John. So thanks for joining on the live stream, too. We're working our way through some of the comments that have been made since last week, and I think you show up in a couple of these, John. So don't leave. So this fella, or lady, not sure, Dallas, we had taken that trip out to John Stretch Park, where everybody was making so much noise that I eventually had to leave. And Dallas here says that park is super strict. They don't let you camp for more than 3 weeks. It's a county park with a million rules and regulations south of the Big Lake, near Clewiston. Absolutely correct. John Stretch Park. And boy, that was a bad experience. We had to get out of there. That was when we were making our drive all the way around Lake Okeechobee. And almost finished up the day there. It's pretty cool. Let's see who's next. John, it's you. It's you, John. So this is, we were, again, I make these shorts out of existing videos because I want people to see them and they get a lot of views. Shorts are interesting, right? It's like under 60-second vertically shot video, and you can make one of your existing videos chopped up into shorts very easily. And it seems to have very far reach, so I like making those once a day. And that one was called Finding Peace in Nature, My Story, Finding Well-Being by Visiting Parks. And John said, I love all the history you shared of the parks, monuments, and even that Florida preserve. For sure, adding the zen of the outdoors and highlighting the fact that 10 minutes is a great break in the daily stress, especially at sunset time. That's the truth, John, especially with the heat we've been having lately, right? It's a little bit easier to get out at sunset or so. That's actually one of the reasons I've been doing these live streams for the past couple of weeks, because Wednesday night is usually my night to get out and enjoy a sunset or something at the park. But boy, the weather's been pretty insane. Let me take a peek here and see. Yeah, right now, here it is, 89 degrees right now, and it's nearly 8 o'clock at night, and we're still at 89 degrees, so they can keep it. When it gets a little cooler, we'll start going back out on Wednesday nights. And we might actually start doing some of these live streams on Wednesday nights from a park. I think that would be neat to go out to a different nature area or park and run a live stream. Basically just a remote. Let's see who we have here. Kaylee Boutwell, 7838. Lovely energy. Thanks for sharing. That was very nice. Now, you never know, when you get a comment from some attractive young lady or a picture there. There's a lot of bots on YouTube and X and Facebook, so hopefully this is a real live person commenting on our journey from city stress to nature's healing. I believe that was the really fun trip I took out to Fern Forest, which is a neat place. I lived here 30 years and didn't realize how many nice hiking trails through the woods Fern Forest has. I didn't even get to all of them, so we got to go back to Fern Forest again. Here's the Texas Gypsy. I dropped in after the live stream was over, talking about last week's live stream, but I did watch the entire video. I'm so sorry I missed it. I'll have to try harder to catch the next live stream. Good luck with this project. This guy, Texas Gypsy, boy, I could tell you a lot of things about him. What could I tell you about this fellow? Well, for starters, he's my dad. I'll leave the rest of it to your imagination. So Jason Vasquez here had a nice interaction and conversation with me. Again, on that Finding Peace video we had, Jason said, I couldn't agree more. I find peace in nature and love the deep woods. He said he's lived in the Mississippi River bottoms all his life and just moved to the high desert a few years ago, and that's one thing I miss every day, the smell of the swamp. My wife thinks it smells like cat pee, but it smells like home to me. And I was talking to him about the pine needle carpet smell. That's one thing I really loved when I was out at a park this past Saturday. You guys will get to see that video coming up real soon. The whole floor of that entire park was just a carpet of pine needles, and man, what a great smell. I did bring home a pine cone to remind me of it, though. He says, I do miss the pine, but besides cottonwood and birch, pine or conifers are pretty much all that grows around me in the desert. There's a lot of beauty in southern Colorado, though. At the moment, I'm watching the sun go down over the mountains from my third floor, and there's more to it, but unfortunately I didn't catch it, so sorry about that. Yeah, you got me jealous there, buddy. You must be hanging out near Rifle, Colorado. It does look amazing out there. I've never been to Colorado. I was telling my son this the other day, that I've done a lot of traveling, especially with my dad being in the military, and we've been all over the United States on all kinds of trips, including as an adult. But I don't have a whole lot of time logged west of the Mississippi other than in Texas. And I know when I was a baby, we had a plane trip that stopped in California and Alaska, but you can't really count that. So I really don't, other than Texas and driving through Arkansas or something, I don't really have a lot of west of the Mississippi experience. But I have been all over the place east of the Mississippi, that is for sure. Yeah. Here's another nice comment from John. He says, we're 83 up here in Ponte Vedra. Is it Vedra? No, Verde, right? Vedra? What is that what you call it? Vedra? John lives up next to Jacksonville. But it's hot and muggy. Do you remember Ben and Jackie Robinson? They were married in Fern Forest. You know, that's funny. I don't remember them, but he's talking about folks we used to work with. I don't remember them, but I actually went to a different wedding in Fern Forest. I saw my friend Sarah get married to her hubby in Fern Forest. It's nice. It's a nice setting, right? They've got those. It's almost like a little outdoor. I don't want to say auditorium type setting, but there's like bench seating and the wooded backdrop. It's a good place for events. Pretty nice. I do not remember Jackie though. Jackie and Ben Robinson. Nope. Yeah, John and I used to work together before he decided to move on to greener pastures near Jacksonville. We're not jealous at all, are we, John? Let's see here. Tudor Fireball. Tudor Fireball says, definitely get a chance to walk the parks in BC. They are beautiful. It's got to be British Columbia, right? That is definitely on the bucket list to go see British Columbia. How beautiful that place is. And interesting, chemistry of questionable qua says nature is the best antidepressant. That is for sure true. There's a few comments. There's a few comments in this string of comments that I'm going to send you guys, and it's in reference to one of the comments I made when I was walking through the woods in Fern Forest was that it can help you build up your immune system, and I said it can also help people resist the temptation to addictions. And I believe that is true. If you spend time out in the fresh air in the woods and the beautiful smells of nature, It can help you with all kinds of resisting all kinds of temptations. Let's see the next one here we have. Excuse me. James Booth says, I grew up in the woods of Kentucky. They drank moonshine and made meth out in the woods. Tell me again how the woods sober you up. I mean, obviously not for everyone, James. That is a fact. Obviously not for everyone. Here's Jason again. Jason Vasquez in reply to that same commentary. I was an addict and ended up getting clean while working in a national forest. I had so much dope, and when it ran out, I was going to be done. I assumed I'd be going through withdrawal and everything else, but I never had withdrawal. I just figured it was so peaceful and quiet out there, it was easy to focus on my health. I don't know, but I got to get better at expanding these comments before I screenshot them, don't he? And he says down at the bottom, I'm still clean and haven't thought of it in years now. I've never been a spiritual guy, but I can't explain how I didn't go through withdrawal or second guess my choice to get clean. I'm just seemed like the thing to do, and it was so easy. I wish everyone could find the peace, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, Jason, I should have expanded your comments before I screenshotted these, right? But congratulations, Jason, on getting clean and staying clean. That is a awesome and important accomplishment, and you have my congratulations. Jimmy Joe, Idaho. I love that name, Jimmy Joe, Idaho. It's nice out there till you run into people talking to their phones and not enjoying them. Yeah, that's true, Jimmy Joe, Idaho. I saw that exact same thing at Fern Forest. It was sad. There was I was walking through this hiking trail, and a married couple coming towards me. It was a pretty narrow trail, so we kind of had to let each other pass. And he's got his phone plastered to his ear, and he's talking and just ignoring her, ignoring the surroundings, doing business on the phone out on a nature trail in Fern Forest. I will not understand that. I don't know. And our buddy John says, Amen. Congrats, Jason. Well done. That's right. We all congratulate you, Jason. Stay clean. Absolutely. All right. Let's see who is next up. Got just a few more of these to go through. This one made me laugh. Robert Castanet said, dude, move further out. And, this could mean one of two things. It could mean move further out from the suburbs, out into the country. And I think that's what he might have meant, because we were talking about urban problems. Move further out. But it's possible that he was also saying move further away from the camera, because when I crop these regular size videos down into shorts, I don't have any control over the framing in the YouTube app when I create those. So maybe he was just saying I was too close to the camera. Maybe that's what his complaint was. Either way, he's right. Dusty Mojave says, I live in the Mojave Desert. I'm not going to find a green space close by. Yeah, that's true, man. That's true. And Jason, again, Vasquez, our buddy Jason, we were just talking about, agreed with Dusty and said, yeah, same problem. Yeah, if I say get out into green spaces, you folks in the Southwest living in the land of Roadrunner and Coyote, you're just going to have to mentally substitute the painted desert when I say green spaces, right? Because it's still beautiful out there. Darlene Morton says, I have a park 2 minutes from the house. About 5 to 7 days a week, I walk with the dog or alone. Yes, walking along the beach or a good shell or rock hunt is great also. Right on, Darlene. Absolutely. Yep, 100%. All right. Next up, we have Staying Salubrious. That is a great username. So lucky I found this channel. As a young student YouTuber who just started out, I am in awe of your peaceful, solid commentary and wholesome comment. Thank you, sir. Just subbed. That is very nice of you, Staying Salubrious. And this little icon right here means I subbed back to you. So I don't really believe in subscribe for subscribe trading type stuff, but I did check out your little zone over there, and I think you're a very positive and uplifting person there, Mr. Salubrious, or Mrs. Salubrious, possibly. You never know. Sunny Sarah says, I have 2.5 acres of horse pasture. I do this daily. Now, you're just making me jealous here, Sunny Sarah, yeah, you're just making me jealous about that. 2.5 acres, horse pasture, being able to walk out there. That's living the life of Riley right there, Sarah. And Brandon here just replying to our homework short about, your homework this week is to get out into nature. He just says, "Amen, brother. Bless you." So thank you, Brandon. You're all right in my book. Trevor S. Oh, I see. It's Trevor St. Jean. Sorry. Sometimes it's hard to read these letters when they're all run together. This one made me laugh too, right? I was talking about your homework is to get out of your house and get into nature. And Trevor said, "Man, you look like your life has no chaos to begin with. Not everyone has that. You got to learn to find peace in the middle of chaos." Listen, Trevor, that is a great compliment. I really wish that was true. I really wish that my life had no chaos to begin with. I guess that's just a good compliment that when I was out in nature filming that it seemed that way. All the more reason for us to get out there and get into the green spaces or the painted desert for you Southwesterns. It's 101 outside right now due to spreading death. Man, some of these comments really cracked me up. You guys had me laughing so hard. Like I said, it's really hot out there. If you do go out, take the advice of my old friend David, the cop. Dave, the cop, said, hydrate or die. So he's spreading death. Okay, so this one was interesting, right? Trump1 said, "You mean like with my Steam Deck and a mobile hotspot?" Yeah, absolutely, if that works for you. Trump1 pointed out, yeah, you can do it, add batteries and whatnot, and then you're basically out in the world of nature and still have your technology with you if you need. We'll probably have to do something like that if we decide to do a remote nature live stream one of these Wednesdays coming up. All right, the 231447 Lucid Dev Team, and I think that we're supposed to read that upside down so it looks something like the little or the Lucid, I don't know. Lucid Dev Team says, "You seem really cool and right. I'm really struggling. Thanks for this." Well, listen, Lucid Dev Team, if you're struggling, I'm serious. Get out of your house. If you can't get into a park, just walk around the neighborhood. Just walking past people's houses or apartment buildings is better than just staying cooped up in your house or cooped up in work. I found when I can't get to a park, if I just walk down the street, looking at people's yards is enough to get my brain out and start recharging a little bit. So I'm very sorry to hear that you're struggling, Lucid Dev Team. But I know one thing, buddy. You got this. You can do it. And you just keep your head up there, Lucid. You got this. Our homies 86 says, "Louisiana here. I will drown just from breathing. It is so humid in the South right now, man. I'm telling you, homies, come on. You got this. You can do it. Just take it in small doses and be sure you drink your water." And our bud John, you were just like killing it here with these. This is your third comment today. 100% take a walk in the park for free. And like our friend Doug says, John, free is for me. 100%. John, you get down here sometime. I'm going to show you some of these cool hiking and walking trails I found. You would love it. Schmendy2 Music says, "Nature gives." That is so true. Schmendy. As I said in my comment here, how can we ever give back? I'll tell you how we can give back. Do what I learned in the Boy Scouts. Always leave a place better than you found it. I did that when I was walking around this park on Saturday. Oh, the nature center, trails. I was trail hiking on Saturday. I always try to pick up some small piece of garbage or something left behind, and I was able to find an ancient, faded Fritos bag. It was so faded out you almost couldn't even read the word Fritos, and it was so old that it wasn't even the metallic kind of bag. It was like the old-fashioned plastic crinkly bag. And of course the animals and bugs had picked every spotless inside of that thing clean, so it was just an empty Fritos bag, but I folded that thing up real little, put it in my pocket, and took it with me. That is how we can give back to nature. Leave it better than we found it. All right, John, it's you again, talking about our last week's live stream 1 week ago tonight. You said, "Jay Ruddy on." Yes, I think a lifetime park pass is at 62. Okay, I think I probably said 65. So at 62, instead of buying 1 year for the same price, you get a lifetime pass. I guess that's when they start betting that you're going to die. So I don't know what that 4-digit number is. Probably something with YouTube. He's talking about that 1596 on his username. I was kind of joking around last time. What is John Ruddy 1596? It's just a number they gave you. That's just the number they gave you. You can customize that, folks, if you want to. You can go to your youtube.com/handle. I think that's the address. Let's just check and see if that is correct. youtube.com/handle. Yeah, well, I'm not signed in, so that's not going to help. Yeah, I think if you go to youtube.com/handle, and if that's not right, just Google it. You can change what your username shows up as there. So if you want to be at the awesome and incredible John Ruddy, you can be whatever is available. All right, we only got 3 to go, folks. We're wrapping it up here. Now, I defy any of you to pronounce this name. I'm going to try. Zixala Storks Zexbax Blacks 3085 says, instructions unclear, ended up in the mountains of Western Africa, and was adopted by the silverback gorillas. Well, you did not follow the homework instructions correctly, Zixala Storks Black XZ 3085. So I'm going to suggest that you watch our next video when it comes out and try to follow those instructions instead. How's that sound? That was pretty funny. Instructions unclear. Yeah, here we go. Protection Plus, which was somebody who commented for us, not for us, but commented on a video last week. We read something from Protection Plus, and I remember that because his user profile is a very memorable one. I'm going to predict that that is a photograph of a Glock 17C. You can see in his username there is jet flames shooting up out of the top of 2 slits out the top of the slide of that Glock, which means it has holes cut in the top of the barrel. It's called compensated. That's what the C is, Glock 17C. And the idea is that some of the gases expel out the top, and that compensates for some of the recoil. So it's very easy to remember Mr. Protection Plus 100 with his G17C username. He says, take them shoes off and ground yourself. And wow, that is really good advice. Take them shoes off. Just be sure that you're not stepping in a pile of Florida fire ants, because you'll wish you had your shoes on at that point, right? Last comment of the night here, Harry Wigmans. And by the way, I see we got 7 folks who've dropped in and said hi, but only 1 of you have hit us up in the comments. So be sure you leave us a comment so I can put your name up here like our friend John did. Just like that, right? And leave us a comment so we can see that you're with us. So Harry Wigmans says, I do that every day and night since birth. Now, I think he's exaggerating, right? Remember I gave folks the homework, get out of your house and get into nature this weekend? Harry says, I do that every day and every night since birth. I've never been depressed in my life, and I started living in my first house before I got 4 years of age. Before I lived that, I lived on the water. He might be like Kevin Costner in Waterworld or something. Nowadays, I live in multiple countries, but I prefer the desert and the swamp. Wow, Harry is living life. Living the life of Riley there, aren't you, Harry? So we can all aspire to be like Harry, right? Well, that's all the comments we have. And I guess unless anybody here has any other thoughts or questions you want to ask in the comments, I can bring those up fairly quickly. But if not, we're going to try to live stream on Wednesday nights. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it tonight, folks. I must have had something really bad for lunch, because I got pretty sick this afternoon. Was not feeling it at all, and I was thinking we're probably not going to live stream tonight, but I'm doing much better. I got better, as they say. So, yeah, let's call it a night. Thank you for all of you folks. We had 7 people drop in tonight, which is better than last week. I'm going to try to continue to live stream on Wednesday nights. And like I said, when the weather turns a little bit more reasonable, what is it? Let's see. Let's take a peek. Oh, it's only 88 now. We lost a degree since I started live streaming. It's gone down by a degree, so it's only 88 now. But when it gets a little cooler, we'll start doing some of these live streams from the park, and that'll be fun. We'll do a remote. Just have to make sure we have decent cell service wherever we are. But yeah, thank you very much to everybody who dropped in, and I will leave this broadcast up so that everybody can watch this who missed it. Everybody who missed it in the future, we will leave that up. Thank you for all of your comments, and if you're watching this later on in the week, leave a comment on one of our videos so that you get a shout out as well. Everybody have a good night. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and I will see you the next time I see you.